I'm having a bad day. I took my car in to a mechanic's, a brake shop this morning, having phoned them yesterday, and they said bring it in the morning and we can do it sometime that day, today. And I also had an appointment for my dog at 12:30, so I didn't want to take it in too early, but I got there at 9:30 actually, and I was rather underwhelmed by the appearance of the front of the place. But they were stood outside and they seemed pleasant. So I went on into the door that I guessed was them. I didn't see the vehicle bay, just the door, and I went in, and it was, mechanics. It wasn't very clean or anything, but so I proceeded to introduce them to my dog and tell them what was wrong with my car, and he took it in right away. And while the other guy was looking up parts, prices, and availability, so I wanted to make sure that they knew exactly what was wrong first before actually ordering any parts. And then the other guy came in and confirmed that it's the discs and the pads. And I asked if I could see, and they were quite happy to show me. So I went on in, and he showed me how chewed up my discs, my brake, I guess they're called rotors, brake discs are. That the pads had completely worn down. And then he also was courteous enough to show me what else I can need to do before next winter. I need a new muffler. I knew about that. There's a hole in my muffler. So what? And there's a hole in the other part, the chamber thing that comes first before that resonator, I think it's called, whatever. So I know what's coming up next. Okay. And I also need a new door closed sensor. I know about that. So okay, fine. So I went back to the office through the filthy door, up the filthy steps, into the filthy waiting room. And he's working on sourcing the parts and saying, at worst case scenario, tomorrow morning now, because I need the smaller of the two, and my car is 20 years old. It's 98, so I don't know, however old that is, 25 years old. Right, then he stepped out back into the vehicle bay, and while I was waiting, I noticed he had a sign up behind him saying, "I don't play well with liberals." And that set me off. Flicked my switch. And okay, I'm getting out of here. This shop does not provide service for liberals, so I have to go somewhere else. Clearly, if anybody, if they're blatant and rude enough to put up a sign like that, then they don't want to serve me, and I don't trust them anyway. Because, like, look at me, look at me, and this. So I said, now she laughs. I was crying a moment ago. So I said, I just noticed your sign over there. I myself happen to be liberal, so I'm going to need to go somewhere else. And he got mad. And then he said, I'm going to have to charge you for half an hour anyway for taking the wheels off. And that ticked me off, and I just started to escalate. I couldn't control it. I couldn't stop it. My fight or flight response was triggered, and I'm fighting. I'm fighting for the rights of everybody who's not a conservative right-wing meanie, you know, for all the immigrants and all the LGBTQ and all the liberal people who care about other people, you know, and for myself and for everything that's right. So he goes down into the pit again, no doubt to tell the mechanic to sabotage my car or something. So I follow him to watch and make sure they don't puncture my tires or cut some gas cord or something. And I can't watch them. Like, I can't watch everything they're going to do. So I yell out, I call him a meanie, and I say, don't you dare do anything to my car. Because I was tripped. You know, my switch had been tripped. And then he tells me he needs me back in the office so that he can get my details and write up an invoice. And okay, I understand that. Yes, I understand. Okay, if I gotta pay to get out of here, then I'm gonna pay so I can get out of here. But I think it was really mean of them to charge me for that. Anyway, I had no say in it, so he is starting to make his way back towards the Grody stairs. So around I go the outside route, and I'm standing quietly, like, and I give him my information, and we argue some more. I tell him I'm not from here. He says that's obvious. And I say, well, I don't want to stay either. I got a free coffee from a nice lady across the street. I went over there. They're actually a coffee supply place for businesses, and I went to see if they happened to have a coffee for sale over there as well, and she gave it to me. That made me cry. Anyway, back to my story. So I'm like, my heart's going da-da-da-da-da, and I feel like I am in jeopardy. Like they're gonna do something to me or my dog or my car, because these people aren't safe. They're not safe. And I bring up how there's Hutterites here all over the place, and he says they're good, hardworking people. Well, like, I'm not, you know. And I said maybe some things I shouldn't have said. Like, well, it's true. The Hutterites didn't wear their masks during the mask mandate because they think God's going to save them. Anyway, he didn't like that, so he said, don't challenge me to a battle of wits, lady. He said, just don't talk. Don't talk. So okay, I get it. I'm scared. Mum's the word. I didn't say another word. I paid, and I literally ran out of there with my dog. I ran towards the back to get my car. He was driving it around. These other fellows over here, they can hear me talking. They probably think I'm a nutcase. And I jump, like I throw my dog, like she jumps into the car, I jump into the car. The car stinks inside from the smelly mechanic who smells of BO and beer and probably cigarettes. Anyway, and I said, it stinks, just to myself. And I think he heard me and he looked back, and I thought, well, who cares if he hears he does stink? So I said, it stinks. It stinks. And I drove off, like, in a hurry, because I was scared and I was running away. And I went straight to the other place where I've been before and had work done, and they act professional there, and they don't have any political signs up either in the door or behind the register. And it's a chain, like a proper chain. I should have gone there in the first place. I only went to the other place because they had a longer wait time, and I thought, well, maybe they're better. There was no need to change. No need. So now my car is in at the other place for 2 whole days because it's not safe to drive. And I asked him to show me as well, and he did. You can probably hear those other guys talking and doing truck stuff, but I asked him to show me, and he showed me my seized caliper. That's what was making the grinding metal on metal sound while I was driving. So I know that that is true. So he showed me, and it's not safe to drive home. It's not even safe to drive around town to do my errands. So I walked half an hour uphill to my dog's appointment, and now I'm waiting and waiting for hours. I did a couple of errands, and now my feet are totally worn out. Half an hour back to town and half an hour back out here. At least I got printer ink and dental sticks. Cocoa nuts, dental sticks. And some cash to pay my ride for the trip home. So, and then I spoke to the bank, because the bank had called me, and I was worried that this mechanic was trying to steal money or something. Turned out it was just some financial advice, but he had no idea where this town is, where I live. And thinks I still live in Victoria, and I probably should. So I'm having a day, and I miss living with like-minded people in a normal place where people are normal, and where I'm not the minority being a liberal here. This is the most conservative corner of British Columbia. I'm in the Peace District. By their brash loudness and their bumper stickers and their freedom flags. So once again, I am questioning my whole reasoning behind coming up here and having a rethink.